Ryan Reynolds just stunned the world, nay, the universe, nay, the multiverse, with the surprise announcement that Deadpool 3 finally has a release date, and a Wolverine. That's right, after years of teasing that he and Hugh Jackman could team up for the continued adventures of the Merc with the Mouth, Reynolds just dropped a video tease that ends with the once and future Logan actor agreeing to return as the famed X-Man in Deadpool 3.
Hey Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
And not just that, but the movie finally has a release date now too, September 6th, 2024. But what does this mean, not just for Deadpool and Wolverine, but also for the MCU itself? We've got a bunch of burning questions about this fourth wall breaking news, so let's dive in.
How is Wolverine alive after Logan?
Logan takes place in 2029, totally separate thing. Logan died in Logan, not touching that.
While the great James Mangold film Logan did indeed kill off Jackman's version of the character, let's not forget that that movie didn't necessarily fit into the proper Fox X-Men movies timeline. Of course, those movies always had problems with continuity to begin with, but it's entirely possible to just consider Logan the movie as featuring what we now would refer to as a variant version of Wolverine. In this case, an older, even gruffer take on Jackman's famous mutant, and yes, a bloodier version too. And depending on which Blu-ray you bought, a black and white version. So even though he died, we could still be getting a totally different variant of Wolverine in Deadpool 3. Maybe it'll be a more comics-accurate version of Old Man Logan, or maybe it'll be the Wolverine we know from most of the other X-Men movies, or maybe it'll just be a brand new spin on the character, like we saw with Patrick Stewart's Professor X in Doctor Strange 2. That version of Xavier went the 90s animated series route, so what if Deadpool 3 also pulls from our collective nostalgia, and this is how we finally get Hugh Jackman in that yellow and blue Wolverine costume? All signs point to, we don't know yet. But keep in mind that even the first two Deadpool movies never quite felt like they fully existed in the standard Fox X-Men world. Colossus looked and sounded way different for one thing, and some of the other X-Men characters didn't really line up with those films, while some did.
Carry him 3 feet off the ground to snatch up the nearest muffin crumb? No.
Hell, we even got what appeared to be a downed S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier in the big battle at the end of Deadpool 1. That wouldn't really fit in the standard Fox X-Men movies. Bottom line, none of Deadpool's connections to the X-Men movies ever made much sense, but now's the chance to tie it all together via, you guessed it, the multiverse. Phase 4, 5, and 6 of the MCU are collectively referred to as the Multiverse Saga, so the MCU is primed and ready for this kind of seemingly impossible crossover. While Phase 4 narratively hasn't done much to move things along, the one thing it has established is that Kevin Feige and co can literally do whatever they want.
She recast Pietro?
There's a multiverse worth of variants, and Doctor Strange is happy to kill off all your fan-cast heroes in one fell swoop. So there are any number of ways this could happen and then unhappen and then happen again. A September 6, 2024 release date puts Deadpool 3 first up in Phase 6, followed closely by Fantastic Four in November of the same year. So what could happen in Thunderbolts that closes out Phase 5 and sets in motion the long-awaited Fox X-Men universe officially landing in the MCU? Or is the answer to that question not much really? In which case, could Deadpool be responsible for merging everything in the build-up to Secret Wars? John Krasinski, who is in the Guinness Book of World Records for the shortest time on screen as a Marvel superhero who can stretch really far, followed up Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool 3 announcement with what we assume is a joke tweet, asking, wait, is this our movie? But then again, we also thought the Reynolds announcement itself was a joke at first, and as previously noted, Deadpool 3 is coming right before Fantastic Four. So maybe none of this is a joke, and Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four will be teased in Deadpool 3. And we take the MCU very, very seriously here. Besides, maybe this will explain how Professor X wound up in the Illuminati alongside Reed in Doctor Strange 2. Ryan Reynolds revealed in 2021 that before Disney bought Fox, the plan for Deadpool 3 was to make a road trip movie featuring Deadpool and Logan. He also noted that it would have been done Rashomon style for real, which of course refers to the Akira Kurosawa classic about a story that is told from multiple clashing points of view. Of course, it always has made sense that these two characters should team up on screen in some way, as they're both survivors of the Weapon X program, and the humor of the setup feels pretty obvious, with Jackman's Wolverine playing straight man to Reynolds' Deadpool.
You're up next.
Thank you, sir. You look really nice today. It's the green. Brings out the seriousness in your eyes.
Oh my God, you ever shut up, pal?
No, not when I'm awake.
Except in a Rashomon road trip, there would be plenty of opportunity to also depict Logan in new and ridiculous ways, which is to say, let's hope this idea is still on the table. We know that the MCU's multiverse saga will culminate at the end of Phase 6 with Avengers The Kang Dynasty in May 2025 and Avengers Secret Wars in November 2025. The modern Secret Wars comics saw the multiverse destroyed and reformed into one singular battle world, populated by variants from many different realities. So it seems like a safe bet that Marvel boss Kevin Feige and his team will pull out all the stops for that film, bringing in all manner of cameos and returning favorites for the culmination of this multiverse-spanning story. A Robert Downey Jr. return as a variant Tony Stark almost seems inevitable, and you could also see other characters return like Natasha Romanoff, Steve Rogers, and more. And let's not forget that Tom Holland's Spider-Man could play a part, meaning, after decades of the characters being kept apart by two separate studios, we would finally witness Wolverine and Spidey share the screen together. But then, there are the other worlds and characters floating around out there that would simply delight the fanboys and girls of the world if they showed up. Everyone from the Lou Ferrigno Hulk to the Wesley Snipes Blade is on the table. So, bringing in Deadpool and Wolverine together is a surefire way to set up this dynamic in the months leading up to the multiverse's big 1-2 punch finale. And don't worry, Logan movie fans, there's no reason we can't get a younger Wolverine and an older version in Secret Wars as well, side by side. If Deadpool and Wolverine are now running around in the MCU, we can't help but wonder what effect that will have on the Avengers.
Assemble.
Can a team comprised of Earth's mightiest heroes afford not to include these two immortal killing machines? Let's not forget that both Logan and Wade have been card-carrying members of the Avengers in the comics. Wolverine spent years dividing his time between the X-Men and Avengers, and when funding for the Avengers dried up in the aftermath of 2015's Secret Wars, it was Deadpool who opened up his wallet and bankrolled a new version of the Uncanny Avengers. Long story short, if either of these two characters are sticking around the MCU after Deadpool 3, we could very easily see them join the Avengers. And what a ride that would be. But what do you think? What does this mean for the future of the MCU? Let's discuss in the comments. And for all your other Marvel needs, stay tuned to IGN.